A very good evening and a very warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this day, 2022. Now, before we delve into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories of the night. Stories tonight: police spends entire Saturday battling fire on Chikubo Lane supermarket. West Nile Investment Summit attracts Congolese. Kasese hosts close to 3,000 Congolese refugees. And a Fawe in an inaugural run to sourcing funds for supporting girls and women.
Brought to you by.
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Good evening once again. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and Muhammad Mugalu on sign language interpretation. We'll start off with our first headlining story tonight. A night fire swept through the upper floors of a commercial building in Chikubo, downtown Kampala, destroying valuable merchandise. Police, fire brigade and military police struggled to extinguish the fire for the entire Saturday, in vain, as plumes of smoke was the only common denominator. Police also kept at bay persons who wanted to access Chikubo and Nabugabo Lane. The cause of the fire is yet to be established. Take a look.
Fire brigade and rescue team has this Saturday found hard time in putting out an early morning fire in a building located along Chikubo Lane, damaging merchandise and property. Eyewitnesses offered different accounts of what might have triggered the fire, but what appeared to be a consistent narrative was that the blaze started at night.
Nensinkananga ekizimbe kikutte omuliro nga ngenda nenkuba essimu nenkubira police nenkubira ne fire brigade.
Guvudde mu Chikubo eyo oba masannyalaze waliwo takeaway oba supermarket, something like that. Police ekyatekinga investigations tulabe ekigota.
Black plumes of smoke continued to rise into the sky as police fire brigade struggled to put out the fire. Fire brigade trucks kept on driving in and out to refill so that they can put out the fire, but in vain.
Saza tafunide kama simu nga watu bali mutulo. Kyomulyo gukuteneza simu yange nagikulisibiza sawa 10 kitundu. Ijaludewo ko okugulwa nero kubembera nga bomanyi obwangu bwabaddewo. Era police nereko ko ogwayo fire brigade yazikiza omuliro.
Ambulances and the Red Cross team were on standby to save any lives, rescuing one Shanita Namkaka, a trader who fainted over the sad news. A supermarket didn't survive this deadly fire outbreak, as it was brought down with all the merchandise burnt. Fire brigade team led by Joseph Mugisha tried to defeat the dreadful fire, but in vain, because by press time it was still work in progress. The degree of destruction has also yet to be established. The fear is that merchandise worth millions of shillings is already lost. From a distance, some of the bystanders looked anxious and distraught as they watched helplessly attempts to put out the stubborn blaze. Ivan Juko, Dithi Flower Namleme, UBC News.
Now, government, with support from humanitarian agencies, is ensuring that Congolese who fled their country due to fear of being attacked until Allied Democratic Forces rebels are peacefully settled. The Deputy Resident District Commissioner Kasese, Lieutenant Mate Magwara, says over 3,000 Congolese have so far been settled at Bwera Teachers College Playground in Mpondwe, Lubiriha Town Council, Kasese District.
Kasese District has so far received close to 3,000 Democratic Republic of Congo refugees fleeing ADF attacks in their country. The Deputy RDC Kasese in charge of Bukonzo County, Lieutenant Mate Magwara, says necessary support is being provided to the Congolese refugees.
No one chooses to become a refugee. It just came without their expectation. the wrong elements came to their area and had to flee from them. So when they come to our site, let us be as much as possible welcoming to them, give them the necessary comfort they deserve.
Magwara says that the screening exercise for both health and security personnel has been conducted to the resettlement center and urged the public to support the refugees who have fled their country in fear of being attacked by the ADF rebels.
We have so far done the screening, both medical, security, and we have recorded them so that we know how many they are, which age groups they are, so that we are able to assess their needs. We have a health team on ground to handle medication, except for referrals.
He urged all Ugandans staying along on the border to be vigilant and also hand over Congolese refugees to the authority instead of keeping them in their homes.
I know there are several of them still being held in homes of relatives and friends. I would like to encourage that those in homes should be brought to the temporary holding area. It is safe, it has the facilities. Then when the right time comes, together with our agency, with the other agencies like UNHCR and so on, we shall know what next.
A settlement commandant from the office of the Prime Minister, David Mujenyi, says relief in form of food and non-food items has been delivered to the Congolese at the temporary holding center.
Here we have all the services and the situation is under control. We are providing shelter, we are providing health services, registration, and at the same time other services.
He said that the office of the Prime Minister is doing what it can to ensure that basic needs like shelter, medicine and others are provided.
We have put down all the basic services are in place, of which include health, food, meals. Here we are, asylum seekers are getting hot meal. Then also have a team of medical workers.
Democratic Republic of Congo refugees who had gone back home are again back in Uganda after finding the situation in Congo much worse than they left it. The refugees who were camping at Bunagana Town Council, Kisoro district, attempted to return home after radio news indicated that the area was peaceful. However, on reaching there, they immediately scampered back on finding war between M23 and armed forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo was still raging in their villages. Take a look.
Kisoro Resident District Commissioner Haj Shafik Sekandi has asked the Congolese refugees to settle into Uganda until their country is peaceful. Sekandi, who was transferred from Kanungu to Kisoro this week, says running up and down will impact negatively on the refugees' lives. This follows a situation where Democratic Republic of Congo refugees who had trekked home bounced back after the situation became unbearable between FADC and M23 still rocks their villages.
Hivi tuko hapa sasa, mimi hapa niko mzazi nataka kuzala. Kaina kangala huku si nitaendea wapi? Matamba sema ndenya kabanda siko kwa matatizo. Huko na matatizo na shinda. Hatujue tende wapi. Hatuna mbele wala nyuma.
Gouvernement yetu inakatala. Kama gouvernement yetu wanashindwa, batuambie tuone Nyakavande. Kama ni mwezi mmoja, kama ni miezi mbili, turudie tena huku tena Kongo.
Sekandi wants the refugees to settle at Nyakavande refugee transit camp near Kisoro municipality as they wait for peace to return to their country. He appealed to mothers and elderly parents to stay at the refugee transit center instead of staying in people's homes where they are likely to get infections.
Children, women, men, the elderly, and as I speak now, the number of people in Nyakavande Transit Center has increased from 8,700 the other day to 9,400. But again, we still have very many people along the Bunagana borderline who are refusing to go to the holding center in Nyakabande. Of course, they are giving reasons that they fear to go to Nyakabande, that they will be taken the settlement camps in Nyachivale and Ramwanja. Some of them say that there are not enough tents for accommodation in the transit center. Some of them allege that there is no food. But I had a team which went yesterday to Nyakabande. We were with the Commissioner for Refugees yesterday. And in Nyakabande, there is food. All the refugees there are getting 3 meals. They get breakfast, they get lunch, they get supper.
Second revealed that a multinational security delegation was expected in Kisoro to discuss the DR Congo security issue.
The country has a representative from East and Central Africa, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, DR Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, Malawi, Zambia, South Africa. They are coming here. They want also to assess the situation. They want to come up with some recommendations that can give lasting peace to the question of Congo.
Security personnel in Mbale City have arrested a nurse who operated on a patient that passed on after the operation. A security team led by Mbale City Resident Commissioner Ahmada Washaki, together with City Police Commander Abed Samuel, said they have arrested Emolung John Titus, an enrolled nurse attached to Buwasa Health Center 3 in Sironko District, for allegedly mishandling a female patient who he operated at his private clinic located in North Road in Mbale City.
Mbale City Commander Abed Samuels smuggled the patient from Mbale Referral Hospital to his clinic, identified as SPI, located on North Road in Mbale City, for his surgery.
When we got that information, we reached on ground as the police, with the crime intelligence and with the SOCO, with the CIDs, to find what could have caused the death. So when we happened to find out the exercise they did were not right, we ordered for the closure of that place. As I talk now, they are in the police custody. That is a Mulungu John Titus, the one who was proprietor of that place.
Ahmada Washaki, the Mbale City Resident Commissioner, explained that after getting information of the death of someone at this facility, he rushed to the scene, as he explains.
When we came, first of all, we had a professional who is a police surgeon here, Dr. Banza. When he looked at the body, first of all, he said, this must have been overbleeding. We came out to say, hey, let us check, where is the theater? They brought us here that this is the theater. Really, is this a theater? It is nothing related to even saying it's a medical place. Unfortunately, by the time I went to get policemen, these two people who carried out this operation bled. This lady here died purely because of the incompetence of people who handled her.
The body of the deceased was rushed to Mbale City mortuary for post-mortem. According to the police surgeon, Dr. Barnabas Rubanza, the major cause of death was overbleeding as a result of amateurism in operation process.
When you see Malaysia, there is no trained doctor in this world who can do the spleen the way they did. So this one was just a case of what I can call quackery.
Dr. Muhammad Mulongo, the Uganda Medical Association chairperson in Elgon region, revealed that the facility is not legally allowed to operate as a clinic, and the proprietor, being a nurse, is not allowed to conduct any medical operation.
The premises were searched, and indeed it was confirmed that a mother was in that facility. She was operated and she died. Postmortem was done, and it was confirmed that there was a lot of bleeding. That private clinic did not have the right facilities to conduct an operation.
UBC News Tonight. Rushere Community Hospital, located in Chiruhura district, is struggling to recover over 400 million Uganda shillings it used while treating patients, but after healing they have failed to pay back, which has put the facility into debts. The hospital has now reached to an extent of barring discharged patients from going back home before they clear the hospital bills.
Rushere Community Hospital is facing an uphill task of recovering over 400 million shilling debt from recovered patients. According to the hospital trustees, immediately after healing, patients could promise to clear their hospital bills upon reaching home, but this has since gone in vain, leaving the hospital choking in immense debts.
Right away now, one of the things we suffer are immense debts, because a poor person comes when he really needs treatment. Do you chase him away?
The hospital administration has also thought otherwise. Reports indicate that patients are being blurred from the hospital premises before clearing all the money demanded for. Some years back, government requested to take up this facility for funding, but its board of trustees refused.
For me, I was a strong supporter of this hospital being taken by government, because I knew it would overcome all those challenges of lack of funds, lack of staff. But the trustees, in their wisdom, said no. If it goes to government, maybe there will be another changes. I didn't see the big reason.
The chairman board of trustees for Rushere Community Hospital, Tandika Paul, said they declined government's request mainly because they wanted it to uplift one of its health center floors into a district hospital, which could be a big advantage to Kiruhura district.
If Kiruhura is a district like other districts, and by policy, a district is entitled to share on the national cake, a general hospital, why do we deny ourselves such a share? Because this one, as you can see, if you've been around here, it is already overstretched. So having another one, which is our due share on the national cake, is no problem.
Rushere Community Hospital, that started in 2005, is the only health facility that provides quality basic health services to over 90,000 people in Kiruhura and the neighboring districts of Kazo, Sembabule and Lyantonde. The facility also delivers about 900 mothers annually, but still lacks enough staff to handle this huge number.
Currently we have about 76 workers, and the status of the hospital is that we need to have 190 workers. So you can say that we are about 40% staffing, which is so below the required limit to have a fully functional general hospital.
Besides, the hospital is grappling with the immense electricity and water bills, enough ambulance service, and a small maternity ward.
I thank the president, sometimes he bailed them out, but we'll be discussing with the government so that they solve that challenge.
The government of Japan, through the Japan Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project, has donated an obstetric care facility that will support the operating theatre, delivery room, maternal beds, all at a cost of 287 million shillings.
We believe that everybody should have an equal opportunity. Easy to say, difficult to do, but we will continue in these projects. I don't know how long it will take, but we have to do it.
Because it's going to support that woman, of course, who is not getting that chance. It's going to support the vulnerable group of women.
State Minister for Higher Education Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo has appealed for utilization of idle land to avoid land grabbers. This was contained in a speech delivered on his behalf by Abdul Karim Waswa, his political assistant, during a prayers at Bugalama Majid Jamia Zirowe in Bamnanika in Zirowe. Take a look.
Religious leaders have been asked to develop their land to avoid land grabbers. Abdul Karim Waswa, the personal assistant to the Minister for Higher Education, John Muyingo, was speaking to Muslims at Bugalama Masjid Jamia Zirowe in Bamunanika.
The Jamia, for the way they have utilized their land, this has enabled the Bugalama Masjid Jamia to support all the projects which they could need at their available land. I appeal to all the Muslim fraternity or Muslim communities to use the land which they own, so that first of all there is security. If the land is not used, there is insecurity on it. When the land is utilized well,
there is wealth, the leadership, they can afford all the projects they would.
Abdul Karim Waswa appealed to the Muslim community to remain exemplary and donate to the underprivileged in their communities. After prayers at the mosque, Abdul Karim Waswa visited Muslim-owned projects. The communication officer, Bugalama Masjid Jamia in Zrowe, Sheikh Kiseka Umar Twaha, explained that they established these projects to earn some income for the management of the mosque.
Obutundu obwo butuyambako okufuna nga okuwayo ku imamu kantu nga tusaza wamu n'abakakiiko okulaba nga tutambuza masigidi wabawe byetaagisa nga okulongoosa omuziki.
He commended government for extending power to the area, which has helped them to add value to their agricultural produce. Adiana Kuti, Salongo Kasibante, UBC.
Now, cattle warriors in Teso and Karamoja sub-region could face court-martial if found in illegal possession of firearms. The warning comes in the wake of ongoing cattle raids that have terrorized Teso and surrounding areas. During a meeting in Kapelebyong district, displaced victims called for reactivation of Arrow Boys to fight cattle rustlers.
It is a group of people gathered here in their hundreds at Kapelebyong district headquarters in Teso sub-region of eastern Uganda. They are here to listen to their national leaders on solutions to ongoing cattle raids. But first, their concerns have to be heard before any resolution is taken.
Papa Mai, the honorable where Mamsi Jodoi. It's okay, Ricota Swam. It is okay, Ricota Garden Cosiboro, Kerakosi Wat. Oyana Soke, the Tata Lori.
They are worried of famine, illiteracy and uncertainty if these raids continue. These outcries stem from recent attacks that saw some people killed, others injured, and majority displaced. Some are now living here at Matheniko Primary School in Kapelebyong district.
People of Kapelebyong have agreed today that they will supplement the efforts of government as home guards and local vigilantes to complement the efforts of UPDF and police to secure the people of Teso and Karamoja.
Top among the meeting resolutions is having Arrow Boys reactivated, firearms availed, and relief aid extended to those affected.
How do we solve the problem? Already a catch. We cannot allow our people again to run. We shall stand together, the people of Kapelebyong, the people of Katakwi. Only God will separate us. Mr. RDC, I was in that office for many years and I want to congratulate you. The job of RDC is to report exactly what is happening, not to report what is imagining is happening. That's the job of RDC. The other day I was watching on television, the Residents Commission of Kapelebyong is saying there is not much problem. There is not much problem. On television, when the LOC1 has been brought to your office, a dead LOC1.
It continues to be illegal for any rustler to possess a firearm without a license.
As leaders, your duty is to inform the central government. Objective, not exaggerate anything, but don't downplay anything. Our government does not want lies. Prime Minister does not believe in lies. He wants to be told the truth so that the truth can help him to package a response to a dilemma.
Lieutenant General Guti, the chairman of the court martial, will now, through his what you call division of court martials, be able to adjudicate on this matter. And I know that many Karamojong, Karachuna, illegal gun owners are now serving sentence in courts in jail, having gone through the due process.
The extent to which this will work remains a matter of time as a permanent solution to the crisis is sought. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Etso community in Kigezi sub-region have launched Etso Association, bringing together all Etsots working, living and studying in the 6 districts of Kigezi sub-region. The association chairperson, Patrick Odong, says they intend to unite as a family in order to help each other grow in all aspects of life.
The 1995 Constitution of Uganda empowers any Ugandan to live comfortably in any part of the country. The Etso community living in Kigezi seem to have comprehended this very well as they establish themselves in the Switzerland of Uganda. The association chairperson Patrick Odong says they intend to unite as a family in order to help each other grow in all aspects of life.
It will help us to build. I admire how Kigezi Circle is operating. It began something small. Now it's tomorrow to become a bank. So we should work together to see how relevant we are in this community, how we can be part and parcel of this community.
The Association Secretary General Godwin Abuya says they will also use the association to help the communities they live with to meet their social targets.
We want to create unity amongst members and their community. Like he just shared that example. Somebody may be going through various situations. This association is meant to bring this group of people together so that they identify amongst themselves but also support each other.
The chairperson Kabale District Nelson Shangabashaija assured the Etso community in Kigezi of love and support in their development endeavors.
That we maintain this friendship, this relationship, and we put it in progress. We maintain it forever. Thank you. I will not talk much, but I want to end telling you that I will be there for you anytime you need me. Anytime you need me.
During the launch of the Etso Association at Cephas Hotel in Kabale municipality, guests had a chance to taste meals and drinks from Etso. At the same function, there was also an exhibition of talents from their homeland. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Faith of Unity, that was founded by Omukama Wobushobozi Ruhanga Bisaka, has aided refugees in the Bubukwanga Transit Center in Bundibujo district. These refugees are some that entered Uganda from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Faith of Unity has proved that it's not only about spreading the word, but also engages in corporate social responsibility initiatives. Over the years, a Faith of Unity has secured education and health of its flock and others, and have now offered a relief aid to refugees at Bubukwanga Transit Center in Bundibujo.
Kilo emitwalo 2 kanana 5. Kilo mitwalo 2 kanana 5 kilo sio kuhunga nisisire amatoka. Ebihimba kilo 13 kusanyo sanyo. Ebihimba kilo 13 Musato, Musanji,
During this exercise, a Faith of Unity reached many areas including Nyahuka, Busungu, Bundingoma, Sindira and Bubandi.
Abali mu camp n'abavuddemu kati twafuna abantu 9,000 more than 9,000 abadde twafuna naye abamu already bagenze mu settlement camps. As I speak now mu camp tulinamu abantu kati 10 naye abasinga kati obungi abali mu thousands bali mu communities. Kyova now to our focus to reach LCs okulaba nti abantu abo bonna they are written down tubaregisterinze ne tubategeera we bali.
The Bishop of Lango Diocese, the Right Reverend Professor Alfred Olwa, has urged the new leadership of Kampala Diocese Mothers Union to focus on growing and building their families. Bishop Olwa, who represented His Grace Kazimba Mugalu at All Saints Church at Nakasero, was inducting the new executive leaders of Kampala Diocese Mothers Union, headed by Elizabeth Chikoyo. Take a look.
Help the church to reach out to young families. Help the church to build young families economically, socially, spiritually, because families are the backbone of our societies.
This is the time we are coming out to support all the programs to fight gender-based violence in our homes and communities. People have lost their lives through gender-based violence. Like as I talk now, women are being killed almost every day in families. Men also are being battered. Children are running away from homes, they are going on the streets. We had a terrible experience where teenagers became pregnant during the lockdown. These children were rejected in homes. Even in the community, some have managed to go back to school, but most of them are seated at home.
I have the treasurer, Vida K. Tinzara. I have publicity.
Now, as Christians prepare to mark the beginning of the Holy Week, it is important to understand the genesis of the Palm Sunday, which journey starts at the Church of Bethpage. Now, our UBC team visited the historical holy site and was welcomed by the busy preparations to mark Palm Sunday. Take a look.
This is the Church of Bethpage, found in the outskirts of Mountain Olive, which has the stone which Jesus Christ used to mount the donkey at the start of his procession to Jerusalem. I hit the road to this historical site, also known as the Palm Sunday Church, and found preparations for the Palm Sunday Mass in high gear amidst a swarm of tourists visiting the area.
Why they call it Beit Faji? What's the meaning of Beit Faji? Beit, it's house in Arabic. Faji, it's the dry fig. You know, Jesus, when he asked his disciples to found a monkey to enter Jerusalem on it, he told them, it's written in the New Testament, you will find a monkey under the tree of fig, that it's found dry. That's why it's called the house of dry fig. So this is why it's called Beit Faji.
As Jesus triumphantly entered Jerusalem, people were waving palm branches as a sign of welcoming him, while others held the olive leaves as a sign of peace.
Every stone here in the Holy Land, it's blessed. Because when you are walking in the footsteps of Jesus, you are walking in the way of the Jesus that has walked in. So it's a blessed land, and really it's the real history here, and real Bible history.
And it takes us back through the story of the Noah's Ark, when those who survived came out and the dove came out with the branch of the dove, the tree, the olive tree. So the dove came out to signify peace.
This holy site was given a facelift to preserve the history, and thousands of tourists throng the place on a daily basis to avail themselves with the important information.
So all this preparation in the Holy Land, many people are coming from all over the world to celebrate Easter Sunday. So the journey starts from here. So this is all the decoration that we are seeing, that we are going back to remember. The palms and the olives all are going to be used during Sunday.
Every Palm Sunday at exactly 2:30 p.m., believers trek from this Church of Bethpage to Jerusalem through the Lion's Gate to observe the last walk of Jesus from prison to crucifixion. The Palm Sunday is also a day which precedes the Easter Sunday, when Jesus rose from the dead. It should be remembered that for the past 2 years, The coronavirus pandemic heavily affected the booming tourism industry here in the Holy Land of Israel and Palestine. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Well, thank you, Daniel Mugoya, for that report right there. Now, UBC News Tonight is taking a very short break. I'll return with business news. Keep it locked.
Pay for your dream phone, Mpola. Get your dream phone today for as low as 1,400 Uganda shillings with free data for a year and pay slowly. All phones come with daily 50 MBs for 12 months. Repayment period is 1 year. Available at MTN service centers and M-Kopa shops.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
When COVID came, it felt like it destroyed everything my mom had built. She was ready to let go of her dreams. But when one door shuts, a window opens. She grabbed her last money and took a leap of faith. She refused to give up. So with a bit of daring and Grandma's secret recipe, her business was back. And not just bigger, beyond her wildest imagination.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Beyond Beauty Parlor and Spa, your beautification destination. We believe in suitable beauty. We offer pedicure and manicure, makeup, hairstyling, plating, weaving, dreadlocks, massage, waxing, facial and body scrub, name it. We also offer additional services like honeymoon packages, hiring venues, and vehicles for brides and grooms. Training interns from different beauty schools. We are located on Uganda House, ground floor 5. Call to book for your appointment on 0702 645 015 or 0414 696 229. You can WhatsApp us on 0752 645 005. Email us beyondbeautyparlor@yahoo.com.
Hour with Airtel Money Quick Loans. Get a top-up loan when you have insufficient funds to buy airtime, pay utility bills, or make payments at a local supermarket. Complete your transaction and pay later. Dial *185*7*10# to opt in. Get an Airtel Money Quick Loan and pay later. Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans in partnership with Housing Finance Bank and powered by Yabex. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that break. And now into business news. The Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities has signed an investment agreement with 2 private investors to improve the quality of accommodation in tourism centres. The Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Colonel Tom Butime, reiterates urgent need for private-public partnerships for the sector recovery from the adverse impacts of COVID-19.
2 private companies have been granted investment opportunities in the country's tourism sector.
With the opening of the economy after the effects of COVID-19, tourism is on its way to recovery, and therefore we need to prepare for increase in the number of visitors coming to Uganda. We should also see improvement on tourism visitation to Uganda.
The commitment by partners is to promote Destination Uganda as a tourist country by adding value on the available tourist facilities. They are doing this through improving accommodation facilities to the high-end standards.
75% of the money volume to African tourism comes from high-end. It doesn't come from low-end.
Want Uganda to be well known by the whole world. We want to bring more Chinese tourists come to Uganda.
This initiative has been in preparations for the last 6 years, and the selection criteria used is well elaborated with assurance of fairness.
And with a strong marketing strategy, I can tell you we are going to have more tourists coming.
Uganda Wildlife Authority has committed to supervise the appropriate observance of these granted licenses in respect of the natural demands.
There must be integrity of the environment, and we must also maintain conservation. Those are very, very important for me.
Investors have been allocated special spaces in the game parks of Semuliki, Kibale and Murchison with investment projects concessions. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Refugees in Parolinya refugee settlement are adopting smart and modern financial technology in the en route to self-reliance. They have engaged in different money fetching activities while attending financial literacy training on how to acquire loans and manage their finances.
In 2019, Financial Sector Deepening launched a special project intending to include refugees in the money economy. This project was implemented by different financial players, piloting awareness of financial literacy.
To offer a mix of financial products and services ranging from credit, savings, insurance, financial literacy, that was consumed very well. Refugees took loans up to over $2.1 million US.
Ingaigo Florence is a proprietor of the tailoring workshop in Parolinya Refugee Settlement, a project she has run for now 2 years. She is a refugee from South Sudan.
I start coming to the town. Then I start collecting the water. Collect the water, I get some little money.
Ingaigo's business journey is mysterious to understand on mere perception as a refugee.
I start there in Sudan, and then this war was coming. Also with these rebels, the rebels they took my things, others are banding.
The idea of formal banking has supported her maneuver into the business community through acquiring loans.
Selling these dinners, they increase my money, and then I pay that money for the rupee, for the bank back, and then the remaining money I buy for me a machine.
Despite her being illiterate, she managed to establish a tailoring workshop for survival as well as uplifting fellow refugees, especially women. She charges reasonable fees for training and employing teachers.
Here in my school, I have 2 teachers and 1 watchman and 1 cook.
Financial Sector Deepening Uganda, through its implementing partners, initiated a project of creating awareness about financial literacy in refugee communities.
also sustainable is because of the unique approach we took, which was heavily based on market systems. So we were very intentional about involving market actors, right, in the space.
Lives have been impacted, and many refugees are at the verge of attaining self-reliance, leaning on the established businesses.
Get the money, then we save in a box, in a group, we put in the box.
Called as a group to be trained, and then in that training, it gives us the idea how to keep records and to do the business.
Communities are taught how to save through formal financial institutions, and the proper financial discipline of paying back loans has been acquired.
As I said, they don't come to us because we know that they are the rural poor. We move to them, we take the services to them. And that is the reason as to why almost all the settlement within the area here is being served.
Through groups, refugees have adopted smart financial technologies.
We call the group on the ground, like in the office, so we give them the phone, and then they are also directed on how to use the phone.
I'm using this button phone, but yes, I used to receive some money through the mobile phone.
The Financial Inclusion for Refugees project by Financial Sector Deepening and its implementing partners of Vision Fund Uganda, Rural Finance Initiative and Equity Bank was intended to provide insights into the financial strategies employed by refugees over time to build their livelihoods and manage their finances in smart and modern way. Abdul Nasser Lubwama, UBC News.
Today in history.
On this day in history, Niger President Ibrahim Bar Mainasara was assassinated by his own presidential guard while boarding a plane in Niamey, the capital city of Niger. Mainasara's death was announced as a tragic accident by Prime Minister Ibrahim Hassan Mayaki, who attempted to dissolve the National Assembly and suspend all political activity. He was buried 2 days after his death in a funeral attended by only family members and foreign diplomats.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
And now into the world of sports. A former Investment Authority boss, Maggie Chigozi, has lauded Forum for African Women Educationists for service towards girl child education. She was officiating the first ever Forum for African Women Educationists hosted at Chitante Primary School in Kampala.
Hundreds of Ugandans have taken part in the first ever Forum for African Women Educationalists run. It was hosted at Chitante Primary School and flagged off by the former Uganda Investment Authority boss, Maggie Chigozi.
We truly believe as far away and actually as women all over that education is the key. If we can give our daughters, our granddaughters education, they will find their way. So that is why Fawe, for the last 25 years, has been picking up those girls that do not have the opportunity, the vulnerable girls, and taking them as far actually. They graduate universities and we see them working in very big positions, so we are very happy.
The run comes at a time when Forum for African Women Educationalists are celebrating their jubilee, whose 25 years have all focused on uplifting the standards of women, especially through education.
We have supported over 8,000 students, but because we work with institutions, we work with schools, there are many other things we do. We do programming in terms of providing second chance education. We do bursaries. We support girls' uptake of STEM that is science, science, technology, engineering and mathematics. We also support prevention of violence against children. So we are working in schools to ensure that the environment is conducive for young people, especially the girls, to learn and so complete their education so that they can lead dignified lives.
Uganda's former world champion, Dorcas Inskuru, was part of the event.
I'm really very, very grateful for today's events, for this girl child charity run, empower these young girls, that we should give a chance to them so that they can have a future education and self-employment for this project.
The run also attracted participants from the Karamoja Games, including Crop Dominic, who finished second in the 5-kilometer event.
Our objectives is unity and talents in Karamoja. Today I'm happy that I brought the athletes from Karamoja who are participating in this power run. And I'm so much grateful that the run has ended and our athlete, the names of Crop Dominic, has become number 2.
By some years to come, Karamoja also will be considered also like those people from Sabine. Because they are always saying that Sabine they know how to run. Also as we know how to run because they are our neighbors. It's only because of the insecurity there in Karamoja. You cannot run there. You cannot train from Karamoja because of hostile tribes insecurity. You cannot wake up early in the morning to go and run.
This Forum for African Women Educationalists run starts a cocktail of activities that will climax with Grand Silver Jubilee celebrations, whose theme will be enhancing the girls' and women's education for development. Adia Nakuti, John Barnes, Centamo, UBC.
The first ever Corporate Pool Championship has ended day 1 on high with the competition and fun punctuating activities. It's organized by former national team captain Alfred Gumikiriza, who has hosted it at his Black Sheep Pool Arena in Mukono.
The mood has been electric at the Black Sheep Pool Arena in Mukono as the first ever Corporate Pool Championship witnessed day 1 action. It was a reserve for 32 corporate players who all seemed to appreciate its intentions, majorly returning investors into the sport.
Came in to participate in this tournament, the Uganda Corporate Pool Tournament, as a way of creating more awareness of the game to the rest of the world, and then to the corporate world in Uganda. I've been a player for some time, only that due to work schedule and all that, I went out of the game. But of recent, I'm coming back to the game. I want to see how we can work together as stakeholders in this game to develop it.
To ensure the sport that has toppled Africa in both genders gets the respect it requires, the corporates who are the sponsors of teams and individuals plan to interest Uganda's Fountain of Honor.
I would love the president also to start playing this game. We want to buy the state-of-art table to be taken to the president so that even the president start to play this game. In so doing, the president will appreciate the game, the president will start to love the game, and by so and with that, maybe the president will be able even to come to corporate league and corporate tournaments to start playing.
The tournament is organized by former national team captain Alfred Gumikiriza.
This corporate championship is all about to blend us, to bring us back to the game as pool players, as pool fans, because as you know that this sport has been hit by COVID-19 for the last 2 years, but we are trying to get back in the game.
It also has a women's category of 8, with some coming from upcountry locations and impressed by just being a part of it.
I'm by the names of Kawasims Goret, all the way from Fort Portal. I'm happy to be in this tournament, but I know it will help me improve this game.
I feel happy being in this tournament because it's one of the tournaments that will help us to improve on our games.
The championship climaxes on Sunday with the corporate winner bagging 1 million Uganda shillings, while the best lady will walk home with 100,000 Uganda shillings. John Barnes, Centamo, reporting.
Prosper Academy has launched a football tournament to be played by 6 teams. This was during an event held at City High School Stadium in Kampala. The tournament aims at improving football skills and knowledge among the youth.
Prosper Academy has launched a football tournament.
aimed at developing and improving sporting skills among young people. A coach at Impala Hills, Frank Molindwa says to grow up with skills helps improve on one's talent.
Kubanga omupiira gwaffe ogwa Uganda gufiira eno wansi. Naye bwe tuba nga tutandise n'abaana bano abali wansi w'emyaka 10 bagenda otuuka waggulu nga ddala tulina abantu abateekeddwa okusamba omupiira ku levels eza waggulu.
Mulindwa also requested parents to support their children's talent.
Eno liigi egezaako creating competitiveness oba okuvuganya mu baana bano abato.
The coach says there is need to equip young people with skills while they are still young. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Brought to you by.
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end, but do join us at 10 o'clock for our second edition and more stories. In our second edition of UBC News Tonight, we'll leave you with Sharon Nakajiri to give you tomorrow's weather forecast, and we will see you at 10.
Tonight with the weather update from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Today by 9 a.m. we had Bushenyi reporting the highest amount of rainfall of 9.2 millimeters. Kabale reported 4.1. As for Entebbe, it was 2.4 millimeters. The satellite taken over Africa today shows that we have a deep low at the tip of South Africa that is depriving us all the moist winds that would bring in some rain into our country, Uganda. Tomorrow morning we are forecasting light rains along Lake Victoria. That includes our capital city, Kampala. In Soroti and Tororo, we are forecasting sunny intervals. As for the northern region, we shall have bright and sunny conditions. Later on in the day, we shall have a pickup of sunny intervals in the north. As for Kampala, Mubende and Kasese, we shall have light rains. Temperatures going up to 34 degrees Celsius in the north. As for Kampala, we are forecasting 30 degrees Celsius. For Kabale Highlands, we are forecasting 25 degrees Celsius. Across the globe, we shall have bright and sunny conditions in Doha and Beijing. As for Cairo, Washington and London, we shall have sunny intervals, temperatures going up to 30 degrees Celsius in Cairo. As for Doha, temperatures are expected to rise up to 37 degrees Celsius. That nicely concludes our weather forecast today. Till tomorrow, have a great Sunday.
Your Excellency, sir, my name's Brigadier General Matthew Gureme, the Chief of Training and Recruitment. Before you, sir, is a delegation from the Burundi National Defense Senior Command and Staff College. This is course number 6 of 2021-2022. So I will request you to address the delegation.
Talking about the emerging security threats, will not be enough without talking about the old ones, because we are talking about emerging security threats when we are still dealing with the old security threats. So I think we should talk about all of them. Uganda is a good example of dealing with security threats, because Uganda had become a failed state. Uganda ilikuwa imeshindwa kusimama kama nchi inaweza kujilinda au kuendesha shughuli za kawaida. Mnajua Kiswahili? So Uganda had become a failed state. And the reason Uganda had become a failed state was first and foremost ideological. If you get the ideology wrong, so many things will go wrong. The main problem of Uganda was our leaders, political leaders, using sectarianism for power. They wanted power. They couldn't bring good reasons why you wanted power. So they started using sectarianism of religion and tribes. By 1962, when we got independence, there were 3 political parties. One political party was for the Catholics, another political party was for the Protestants, and another political party was for the Baganda, one of the tribes in Uganda. Now, that was very dangerous. It was very dangerous for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 was that in a country like Uganda, if you start using sectarianism, you cannot get enough support in the country to win an election. This is because there is no religion which is majority religion. They are all minority. If you go to religion, you'll find they are all minority. There is no religion which can go beyond 40%, for instance. Tribes, there is no tribe which is more than 17% of the population of the country. So the first problem was failing to get enough political support. That's why in 1962, 2 groups had to form a coalition. It was called Omukago, a friendship. This was the party of the Protestants, UPC, of Obote, you must have heard of Obote, and the party of the Baganda. They formed an alliance in order to get numbers. But that alliance was short-lived because it is based on opportunism, and it collapsed by 1964. But the second danger with that line is that forming national institutions like the army is not easy. Well, if you start talking about tribes, then you will have either the army to be divided because of the tribes, or to have one of the tribes dominating the army and excluding the others. Now, when you do that, the danger is that if there is no threat from outside, maybe you can survive with your small tribe dominating the army. But if you get an external challenge to fight a big war, you will not manage, you will collapse. That's what happened with Idi Amin. Idi Amin had built a small army of 20,000 soldiers, mainly from his home area, and they were the ones keeping him in power for 8 years. However, when he provoked a war with Tanzania in 1978, and the Tanzania army supported us with the anti-Amin, he could not mobilize enough manpower because he had a narrow base. He had a small army of 20,000, and we came with a force of 54,000. And Amin could not fight us, couldn't manage. So that's the second danger of building national institutions. If you go sectarian, building national institutions is not easy. And that's the problem of Somalia. Somali people are very good fighters, but the problem is that they organize according to clans. But the third problem of sectarianism is diverting people from their interests, from knowing what is crucial for them. There's one word you need prosperity. I think prosperity in Swahili, when I last tried to follow up Swahili, they were saying ustawi wa jamii. That's what I think I remember. The prosperity of the people in a modern way. Prosperity of the people in a modern way means you produce a good or a service and sell it. You produce a good, the one you can do best, or a service, and you sell it. Goods and services. When you produce a good or a service, you need somebody to buy it, to buy what you have produced, and he gives you money, and then you can use the money to solve your problems, to build a better house, to support your family, and so on. Now, the problem is that Like for instance, the problem is that if you look at the people like the Maasai, who are found in Kenya, they are found in Tanzania, they are all cattle keepers. They keep cows. This Maasai is keeping a cow, the other Maasai is keeping a cow. Now, if they modernize, what can they sell? They can sell milk or beef. But the problem is that the Maasai are all producing the same product. A has cows for milk and for beef. B has the same. So A cannot buy from B, B cannot buy from A. Why? Because they are producing the same products. So therefore, who will buy the cows or the beef or the milk of the Maasai? It will be the other people of Kenya or Tanzania who don't produce milk, who don't produce beef, who do something else. Maybe the people in Dar es Salaam, the people in Nairobi, who are in the towns, they're the ones who will buy the beef and the milk of the Maasai. Now, when you come and you preach sectarianism, which means we Maasai, we Chaga, we Kikuyu, the question is, if there was trouble because of what you are saying, who would buy your milk, who would buy your beef? You find, therefore, that the language of sectarianism is against the interests of the people. What we call in Swahili, maslahi. Maslahi ya watu. Interests of the people. Legitimate interests of the people. What the people want is produce their goods, their service, and sell them. And whoever buys those products is a friend, is a supporter of the prosperity of those people. Now, therefore, when you bring the language of tribes and religion, it means you interfere with the people who would have bought my products, the one I'm producing. You can go and study the economy of Burundi, find out what the people are producing, and who buys what they are producing. Some of the products are sold abroad, like coffee. I'm sure Burundi produces coffee, and it is sold abroad. But some of the other products are sold internally within each country. So you should go and study this. So therefore, we, in the 1960s, when we came up and we found these sectarian parties, party for the Catholics, party for the Protestants, party for the tribes, we said no. These parties are false parties. They are misdiagnosing the sickness of the country. Can somebody tell me what diagnosis means in French? Diagnosis.
Your Excellency, in French it is pronounced diagnostic. In French it is pronounced diagnostic.
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 In Kirundi, what does it mean? Mbuyera mu Kirundi.
Mu Kirundi no kusuzuma.
Kusuzuma. Kusuzuma would mean to check.
Yes.
But kuswijuma is like my language. Kuswijuma is like you check.
Kusuzuma chanye kuvura.
Urabeshe. Uyu Murundi arabeshe. The okuswijuma is to check. Kuvura is to treat. To treat. But to diagnose is umemaliza kusuzuma, umeelewa ugonjwa. So that one, that kuelewa ugonjwa. How do they call it in Kirundi?
Gutora ingwara.
Gutora. Meaning that you have known.
Kumenya ico umuntu agwaye.
Kumenya. Kumenya. I think the kumenya is nearer diagnosis, because kusuzuma is you are checking. Kuvura, you are treating already. But to know is kumenya. That's because kusuzuma is examination. A sick person is being examined. But kumenya. So, saying that the problems of Africa, of Uganda, of Burundi